Senator Ted Cruz, Biden is using the federal bureaucracy, federal taxes to try and get out their vote. You got this guy, Mark Elias, their hitman. He's in Arizona litigating against voter ID. Their lawyers are still spread out. They're using the bureaucracy. Isn't this a violation of the Hatch Act? And who's to investigate it? Is the Biden regime going to investigate the Biden regime?
Well, they don't investigate themselves. This is abuse of power to stay in power. And it is brazen. And I got to say, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer, they ought to have an entire chapter in Sigmund Freud, because the projection that they engage in is remarkable. We talked a minute ago about how they say they're defending democracy while waging the greatest assault on democracy in the history of our country. They also say routinely, Donald Trump is a dictator. He's an authoritarian. Look, Donald Trump was president for 4 years. He not only followed the law carefully, but he ushered in policies that made an enormous difference in people's lives. You look at the dictator, Joe Biden is the one who does lawless act after lawless act after lawless act, including trying to give $1 trillion away for giving student loans. That was blatantly illegal. The Supreme Court had to slap him down, including things like a COVID vaccine mandate within the federal government that was blatantly illegal. The Supreme Court had to slap him down. But this administration doesn't care. And the number one example is our southern border. Look, Joe Biden is under a constitutional obligation to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. He is defying federal immigration law. He is aiding and abetting criminal cartels who are invading this country. And I got to say, the last 2 weeks, as we've seen the people whose lives have been lost because of Joe Biden's lawlessness, whether it is Laken Riley, the beautiful 22-year-old woman in Georgia, or whether it is Jeremy Caceres, a 2-year-old boy, both of whom were murdered by illegal aliens Joe Biden released. We've also seen a 14-year-old child who was raped in Massachusetts, and we've seen a child under 14 who was raped in Louisiana, again, both by illegal aliens Joe Biden has released. The consequences of this lawlessness are people are dying, our lives are in danger, and the rule of law is being torn down by these zealots and authoritarians.
Make a very important point. This is a war on the American citizen. The American citizen is suffering as a result of that, whether it's the inner cities in Chicago and New York and LA, whether it's rural areas, whether it's rural New York and other places on the northern border. The American people, it's not just crime, the redistribution of wealth from the American citizen to illegal aliens. They're having their parks taken over, their hotels taken over, and all the rest. And the best the Democrats can do is come up with a phony bill and blame Donald Trump and people like you. Isn't that part of the problem? When you have people who lack virtue, when you have people who lie for a living, when you have people who believe that the ends justify the means, which is the complete destruction of the existing status quo because it's a white dominant society, because now the Democrat Party has cobbled together the Marxists and the Islamists and all the other reprobates and miscreants, that now the whole country is going to alter its institutions and its society to accommodate the Democrat Party. This is a real revolution, isn't it?
It is exactly that. This is cultural Marxism unfolding every day. The Democrat Party has been taken over by radicals. Every major institution in America has been taken over by radicals, and they are fighting for cultural Marxism, for government control over every aspect of your life. And I'll point out the hypocrisy of it. You look at these Democrat Marxist billionaires, people like George Soros. Look, George Soros is pouring millions into the state of Texas trying to take me out. Right now, Soros and Schumer, I've got a Democrat opponent. I'm running for re-election right now. My Democrat opponent has already raised $22 million, and they're coming after Texas because they want to flip Texas blue, and they want to take me out. And that is abuse of power. That is their priority. And by the way, Soros is not in personal danger. He has armed guards surrounding him. He lives a life of opulence. It's the little people whose children get killed by illegal aliens, not the masters of the universe who are ushering in this lawlessness.
By the way, you remind me, with all this money pouring in to take you out and to turn Texas blue, what is your website?
My website is tedcruz.org. It's tedcruz.org. And I got to say, every time you have me on, Mark, it is amazing. Your listeners are incredible patriots. They go online to tedcruz.org. They give $25 or $50 or $100. And that's what helps me fight back this onslaught. Chuck Schumer and George Soros intend to spend more than $100 million this year coming after me, trying to defeat me in Texas. And it's the incredible patriots who watch your show and listen to you on the radio, who go to tedcruz.org, and they make an enormous difference. It's how we win, how we turn the country around.
By the way, just to be fair, if Chuck Schumer would like to come on my show, or your opponent would like to come on my show for 2 full segments, well, get your ass in here. We'd love to have you in front of the camera. I've been chomping at the bit to do exactly that.
Mark, I got a request. If you get Schumer on the show, just let me come and sit there and eat popcorn, because that would be destination TV. I would pay to see that.
Well, he's got an open invitation, as does your opponent. 2 segments on Life, Liberty, and Levin. Ted Cruz, I want to thank you for your patriotism. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you, Mark.